It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, basketball fans. I'm Ernie Johnson, welcoming you to 2K Sports. I'm here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. And in our matchup tonight, we'll see the Boston Celtics going up against the New York Knicks. Checking out New York. They struggled in this matchup last season. Only one win for them through 4 games. They'd like to make a statement tonight. We'll get to see Gordon Hayward suiting up in this one. Hayward, in addition to being a great shooter, also heavily involved in the competitive video game scene as well. Big fella, you going to go pro in esports anytime soon?
Well, esports is definitely on the rise, Ernie, and Hayward is ahead of the curve, but I don't really see myself sitting there. I'm too old for that, Ernie.
Well, sitting and old kind of go together, but there's a competitive nature in which Hayward just likes to express it. This is another way he does it.
Time now for tip-off. Let's send it to Kevin Harlan with the call.
You're older than me, Kenny.
And I like to sit.
And welcome everyone to another presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. With Greg Anthony, Brent Barry, and our sideline reporter, David Aldridge, Kevin Harlan. It's a special night because we're sitting alongside former NBA champion, MVP, Kevin Garnett. We're so excited to have you here.
How you doing, Kev, man?
I'm doing great. Now that you're here, this is terrific.
Man, it's good to see you, man.
Tonight in Boston, a new chapter will be written in the long history of the rivalry between the Celtics and the New York Knicks. They come into this game after losing on Saturday.
Yeah, guys, they were forcing it a bit in that one and shot a relatively low percentage because of it.
Well, if I put it on the scale, Greg, the aggressiveness was an 8. The shot selection, a 2. Could have been a lot better.
And nothing tips off a broadcast like getting the lowdown from the sidelines. And we've got David Aldridge there for that. David, good evening.
Well, guys, Kristaps Porzingis was taken with the 4th pick in 2015, and he was considered a project then. But he's shown himself ready, and part of that has been his mentality. He said, they thought I was afraid, but that's not who I am. I'll never back down from anybody. If I want to succeed, I can't be scared of anybody. I've got to be fearless out there on the court. Kevin?
Thanks, GA. And what's scary is Porzingis is only going to get better. That kind of fearlessness will help him in the long run. Kevin, growing up watching the game of basketball, who were some of your earliest influences?
My early influences in the game of basketball was Magic Johnson, obviously Michael Jordan, and then Chris Webber. Chris Webber, Malik Sealy was kind of like the younger generation of my inspiration. Yeah. St. John's was one of the destinations. Michigan was one of my college destinations. So those guys were my natural inspirations early on when I was young.
Yeah. And so off the tip, it's New York. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. And New York, looking at who they've got. They've got Enes Kanter, Ntilikina out there with Hardaway. And there's Porzingis, and it's Beasley in at the 3 slot. Kevin, of all the people you've faced, who is the toughest guy for you to score against down low? Let's pick that geography. Who is the toughest to score against down there?
Listen, I know a lot of people, I've always said Rasheed Wallace, I've always said Tim Duncan. They're probably the 2 that brought a different level of play out of me, but shout out to Cliff Robinson, man. Cliff Robinson, I don't know if people know this, but Cliff Robinson, man. Cliff Robinson was one of the better defenders in the post. He was very strong. He was very long. He didn't go for any counters. He was very disciplined. He was well prepared because he was a veteran. The refs let him get away with a lot, touching and grabbing. He knew when to be physical in some positions. He knew to do what we call work early. He would meet you at the 3-point line, and he would be fighting you, and you would post up probably like a step outside the 3-point line. Like, he was really good at some of his techniques and how he was able to control the post. After Cliff left the game, I watched a lot of his tape, and I took a lot of his I had to, because it was so effective against me that I was able to use it against other post players on the defensive end.
I never knew that story.
Dennis Rodman was another guy I watched a lot. Akeem Olajuwon I watched a lot because these guys were laterally very similar to my makeup. Akeem Olajuwon was long. He was able to laterally move with you. I was laterally able to move with guards and able to laterally to slide with some of the forwards and some of the more laterally gifted power forwards. And with that, able to get my feet together, being able to block shots, challenge the rim, stuff like that. Things that if you're going to get better at something, you got to go and reach and find the great ones that did it before you and take it, and then I was able to apply it, and I did those things.
And that one falls for Ntilikina.
And the potential that Ntilikina has is really cause to be exciting. A lengthy point guard who can run the offense well, and if he bulks up, look out for this guy.
And he makes both free throws. Kevin, when you entered the draft, no player had made the jump from high school to the NBA in 20 years. And what were your emotions when your name was called number 5 overall?
Oh, man, I remember that. It was
17 years old?
17, just turning 18 at the time. I was in like a whirlwind, to be honest. A lot of people don't know it's a lot of stuff that goes up into the draft. You know, things that I wasn't aware of. You're training twice a day. You know, you're trying to get ready for the combine. You're trying to get ready for pre-draft. You got to do workouts. This is all new to me. On top of still going to high school, trying to, you know, graduate and stuff. So I figured it out. I hustled and I bustled and I juggled a bunch of different things. But once your name is called, it's almost like the culmination. It all comes together. It's a special moment for just you and your family and your loved ones and ones around you. And when my name was called, it felt like the world had stopped and everything was going very slow.
And so it's Boston with it, following the score by New York. Irving passes to Morris. Here's Horford. Off target from three-point range. And KG, when you were bringing those greats together like you had in Boston, the intersection of you and Doc and Paul Pierce and Ray Allen, all these guys together, everything was aligned.
But you know, you got to go through something to be able to appreciate something. And I like to think that with the joining of myself and Ray Allen and Paul Pierce going to Boston, that we all had to have a journey up until that point and go through something and feel something and have something feel left out. We all was achieved when we all came together. Awards, countless all-star achievements. But then when it came to total winning and what we all do this for, it was all vacant. And that's what we all shared. And we all shared the same appetite for that, Kev. And I'm telling you, man, when we all got together, we all knew never to let each other down. And we all gave each other 100%.
What a time. That free throw good from Kyrie Irving.
The skill set of this point guard in Kyrie Irving is so astounding. Clever with the ball, confident as a shooter, and he basically torches any defense that's out there.
Both free throws good for Irving. Kevin, when you played, we all know how intense you were, how much you cared. That, to me, was the thing that you cared so much about the product, about your team, about the game. But some people have said that maybe there was a streak of you that was mean is maybe not the right word, but you were overly aggressive. But I don't know how you could have played any differently than that.
I call it dialed in.
What?
You know, I like to think that if you're trying to accomplish something, then, you know, I only know one way to accomplish something. You go at it with everything you have.
Yes.
You go to dominate it and take it over. You don't go at something lightly.
Can't walk through the park with this game,
not at all. Not at all. And this game is full of talented elites. Night in, night out, you're playing someone that can typically go for 50 easy.
So true. The Celtics have been perfect at the line so far, albeit just 2 for 2.
And they shot 81% from the line last season as a team. So you really can't find fault with what they're able to do there.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And he makes the first. Kevin, one of the biggest moments of your career, the 2008 championship with the Boston Celtics. Talk about the camaraderie among that group of players.
You know, Kev, I can tell right away that we had something special getting together right in September, right before the year started. We started working out together. We started sharing concepts and how we saw the game. Right away, I can tell that the appetite was there. 1 through 15 guys. It's very rare that you're able to get that many guys in that early. As soon as Danny, signed guys, we were in, we were lifting, we was just, around each other, understanding each other, playing a lot. We was playing a lot. Then, fortunately, we was able to go off to Rome that year. Rome was a good distraction for us because we had to lean on one another.
To bond a little bit.
Seriously, because, none of us spoke Italian. If we wanted to go somewhere, we was always 3-4 deep, and no one was asking and no one was telling us to be with each other. We were just naturally being with each other so much that whenever you saw us to the restaurants, 9, 10 of us, that carried over to practice. Then we got 2 teams that are very competitive. Doc's letting us be who we want to be, and he letting us play with passion, and our practices are over the top aggressive, and to the point where it's too competitive to where he has to come in and separates us and take the balls and cut the lights out and get us out of here, to the point where he just lets us go. Now we start bringing concepts to him. He started trusting our IQs. Now we start putting a couple of things on defense, Thibodeau's in there. He's implementing stuff. When this flow is going like this, you don't know that you're going to win it all, but you're on the waves of something special, and that's how that felt.
Here is Hayward after New York gets the 3. And Kev, you think of the great ones. You, Kobe, Jordan, Timmy. Yeah, how about him? They worked harder than anybody else, Kevin.
And what you learn is that the similarity or the parallel that you all have is an inner animal that you never speak about. We're all a little off. We're all a little dark, but that's what pushes you through pain. That's what pushes you through tough moments. And when someone says you can't, when someone says this is not possible, this is unreal, no one's ever done it, that's the moment you're looking for. The moment someone told Kobe that he couldn't get over 50, 60, something Jordan couldn't do, he was driven in that. And if Phil wouldn't have stopped him, he probably would have reached 100 points.
He probably would have, yeah.
He did Will Chamberlain a favor. And that's just real. He was in that type of mode. We all share that passion. We all share that drive. And the ones that have that inner darkness, we all understand.
It's like a split personality, huh?
It's almost like another level.
Yeah. Horford has a wide open look. And the 3 off target. The Knicks leading by 8. Kevin, when you're talking about influences, you mentioned Chris Webber's name a lot.
Yeah, C-Web was kind of, he and Stacey Augmon was at a time where I was trying to find myself as a player.
Search for a roadmap, maybe, who do I most resemble?
Not only that, but just some direction. At the time I was a big who had handles, and if you know anything about Southern coaches, they don't want their big handling the ball. Yeah. So you get the ball up to a guard or whatever. It wasn't until I got to Chicago to where the scouts or, people were able to see, like, wow, this big can actually handle the ball. He has handle a little bit. And then my high school coach would actually make me bring the ball up to show off and showcase.
No kidding.
I hated it. I was like, oh, my God,
but look at what happened,
bring the ball up. And he knew that turning, I could handle it. I was like, oh, my God, I hated this. And he knew I would go and dunk him on. I was like, man, I don't want to shoot. He was like, no, bring the ball up. Anyways.
Here's Ntilikina. 11 points for him in that last game against Detroit.
Loved his passing tonight as well. He was just cutting the defense to pieces out there.
Now here's Porzingis. Shot from 12. Al Horford, a player who doesn't dominate any one category as a big man, but KG has very few weaknesses. He's fundamentally sound.
He's very effective, man. Al Horford knows what he is. He's very solid with what he does. Sets great picks. He's able to create space between him and his defender. If you watch him, he's gotten better with his shot. He's gotten better with his three-point shot. He's able to shoot it at rapid style now. Being in Atlanta, being in a kind of a system where he was able to play kind of 4 guys, 1 in, and he would be more perimeter. He's really developed a perimeter shot now. It's really helped him. Now he's able to put the ball on the floor with a shot fake and go to the basket, make other passes to guys. Really helped that whole system up there. Boston is a threat, but without Al Horford's play, his inside play, and his able to go out and hit threes, they're not the same team without him.
Quality person too.
Absolutely, yes. Man. No better locker room leader. He's one of these guys that You know, when you talk about men, you know, you want to know that men can stand up and speak like men. He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys that's going to put on the table, and we are going to be in here speaking as men as it should be.
And so he draws the foul on the shot, a trip to the line to shoot 2. It's going to go on Gordon Hayward.
That's a good stroke by McDermott, looking to find opportunities like that. He has limitless range.
And he's got his first free throw of the game. He misses the free throw. Kevin, you were always known as wanting to play and always wanting to practice. You were a gym rat. What did you do when a coach would ask you maybe to take a breather? Let's sit out this game. Let's rest up. Would you welcome that? Would you just say, I'll let you know when I can't go? How would you handle that situation?
You know what? I've always asked the coach to respect the way I get ready for games. I've always asked him to respect the way I approach the game. I've always asked the coach to respect me and my expertise of knowing my body. I'm very, very vocal. Listen, if one person needs rest and it's me, I know how to raise my hand. I know how to say I need some rest. But, you know, I'm a person who likes to push through a lot of things. I'm a person who understands rest, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I'm a person who understands that practice makes perfect. And if I can work on something for as long as I can to make something better, because I know at the end when I need it, especially when I used to call it dial up. When I call, I need the answer.
The Knicks shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game.
And look back a season ago. They did a solid job at the line, about 79% of their free throws.
That free throw from Lee is good. Kevin, coming out of high school, you were relatively mature for your age, as 17 turning 18, but do you ever regret not trying college and just seeing what that experience would have been like? I mean, it's such a long time ago, but you've had some chance probably to get some perspective on both sides of that story.
You know what, Kev, I look at it like the unknown is the unknown. Obviously, I've had friends that went to college. Some of my best friends went to college, and I think I've kind of lived it through them a little bit. Listen, when you have responsibility early in life,
which you did,
which I did,
yes,
and you know, so from a mature level, things that interest me are not that interesting as you get older, especially when you have to deal with a vigorous schedule of an NBA schedule. I wasn't able to, you know, be the 17, 18-year-old to chill, have, you know, lean on the parents a little bit, be able to be at home, you know, coming home through the weekends. No, I had a real life that I was responsible for, and I was growing something. I was building something. You know, I was trying to not just be a young player in our league, but a young businessman, wanting to establish something for myself, my friends, my family. You can't do those things thinking like a normal 17, 18-year-old. You're taking pieces from grown men around you all the time. You're around people who need something all the time. At some point, you have to put all this together. You have to make it work for you. You have to put your spin on it for how it works for you and your brand. And you have to be innovative with that. You have to be creative with that. You have to have a vision.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. That free throw, no good. And KG, you're retired from the game now, and you're stepping into the broadcast business a little bit now, aren't you?
Man,
Yeah,
you see me?
Like it? How do you like
you know
it?
what? Area 21 is something that is authentic. It's me. I'm having a great time watching the games. It's really cool being a fan now. I can root for people I want to root for. I don't have to worry about preparing and who I'm a guard, and I'm getting the tea. So you know what? It's a great time. It's work. You know, it's not just you go on there and you have a bunch of fun. You know, we actually get some things done, and but we have a great time, man.
You're in that.
Hey, Kev, listen, watching you, being around you, you know, man, the great, rest in peace to Craig, you know, Ernie, Charles, all these great influences, man, has definitely helped. Not just me, but our younger generations of broadcasters, man. It's totally, I didn't see this being my lane, but I'm having fun with it.
Doing a great job. Here's O'Quinn after the basket by Boston. Not enough on that one as it misses.
A team's rebounding is a great measure of its energy, and theirs has been terrific here in the first quarter.
And Kevin, welcome to the 2K team. I didn't realize how much you love NBA 2K.
Oh, man, you know 2K is always loud, man. I'm a super fan. Man, this game is going all over the place, bro. Like, seriously, like, I'm geeked to see what's next, man. They got everything down. I'm sitting here watching all the little small intangibles that come with the game. I'm watching the game grow. I'm watching how better players are getting. I'm watching the online play, man. It's lit. It's lit. I can't wait to see this.
Take a break. 2 shots.
That's good from Rozier. And Kevin, you've recently gotten a chance to do more TV. Your show Area 21 has been tremendous, and the critics love it. Talk about this chapter of your career.
Well, it was something that I wasn't planning on, but, Turner brought me a great concept, and it fit the mold of what any man cave is, and that's really what it is. But the fact that we can go in, watch games on multiple channels, see multiple games, articulate it, give it from a perspective of a player, coming fresh out of this generation of players, giving understanding to this generation of players is very important because these players now are very different. Teaching these young players, still being mentors of these players, very important. And still loving this game. It's still a beautiful game. Man, the game is growing. I'm watching these kids do all types of different stuff, man. The creativity in our game now is so heightened. So, yeah, I'm having a bunch of fun, which is one thing I never forgot. The piece of advice you've always told me, man. So you continue to enjoy what you do, and it'll show. And I'm hoping that I'm making you proud of that, Kay. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, man.
You're an incredible ambassador to all of those things. The game, the fun of life. Right. You capture a lot of the fun of life.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm enjoying it. So, hopefully it shows.
And Kevin, you played for some great coaches, but is there any coach you would have been interested to work with that just didn't get a chance to? Say, Greg Popovich or Phil Jackson.
Those are great coaches. I've had very, very little time with those guys.
Maybe all-star games and things like that.
I have. But, when you do all-star games, you let yourself go. You open up yourself to try to, be there and be present with the guys. Yes. Open up, hey, what's up? What's been up with you? How's the year for y'all? Y'all playing well. We're going to beat y'all when we see y'all, blah, blah, blah. But, you're very cordial. And, you're not talking too much about X's and O's. But you do share perspectives. You do share, philosophies. Pop is a great mind. I had a chance to sit with him a couple times. Phil's a great mind. Phil is super deep and loves the philosophy of. I haven't had a lot of time with those guys. Doc Rivers, shout out to Doc. And, I know he doesn't get a lot for his philosophies, but he's very enriched with philosophies and styles and bringing teams together and trying to make sure that guys stay connected, stimulated. He would always tell us, never get bored with the process.
Wow, that's so intriguing. Interesting to hear. The Knicks have gone 5 of 8 from the charity stripe here tonight. Free throw good, Sessions.
And trailing here in the early going, too many careless fouls, and they're giving up a lot of trips to the line.
And so Sessions nails both of them. Celtics trail by 5. And people may not know, KG, that you're not just a broadcaster for 2K, but you're a member of the 2K community.
Have you been keeping up with the community, man?
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Man, listen, shout out to all the 2K players out there. I'm Jizzle Lord. Y'all know what it is. I'm Jizzle Lord 5. Shout out to my OBF team. Y'all know what it is. Shout out to Dex. Shout out to Bug. Shout out to everybody out there playing.
Wow.
Right. We definitely.
Wow.
It's all good. I'm OBF. I'm about the team. I'm gang. You know what it is. Jizzle Lord. Y'all holler at me. Y'all know what it is, 2K. Right.
It's blocked. To the paint. Lays it up and in off the pretty assist. And it's now only a 1-point Knicks lead.
How about that floor awareness there from Tatum? It does a good job of scanning the court and getting the ball to the open man.
He took good advantage of that screen. And KG, 2 decades later, you still look the same. You don't age. You do not.
Listen, man, listen. I wish I could use the Beyonce. I woke up like this, but actually I woke up like this and worked out some more, and then worked out a little more to look like this.
You look terrific.
You look great too, man. Man, what's the secrets, man?
I'm following you, watching your advice.
Yeah, right. You've been doing this way, man. Ken, what year is this for you? Seriously?
Broadcast in the NBA. 20 years and then 12 years with 2K.
You're a beast, man. You know what I love about 2K, man? They bring the best in for the best.
You
understand my dude? Straight up,
that's why we've got you. But Kevin, you play this game a lot, don't you? Especially when you were young.
Man, listen, man. 2K is it, bro. There's no other games out here. This is what it is. If you playing basketball, if you online, nobody's playing nothing else. This is it.
Yeah.
2K is the cream of the crop. It's the gang. They know what it is. It's lit. They know what it is. Seriously, they got to do this. They know.
For Boston, they have knocked down 8 of 9 free throw attempts. I'd say those numbers read pretty well. First one falls for him. Good on both. New York leading by 3. And Sessions kicks to O'Quinn. They set the pick. Shot off the pick. Rebound Boston. They're coming off that win against Philadelphia.
Executed on the road, stayed focused, stay consistent with who you are as a team.
Such a confidence builder to go on the road and be able to dictate the tempo, the style of play, keep your identity. They were able to do that here.
The shot and game clock separated by 4 and stolen by Tatum. And pushing it up, here's Boston. Brown's got the ball.
And the vertical that Brown has is pretty impressive, as relentless a finisher as you'll find in our league.
The Celtics have shot 10 of 11 at the line. Nice work so far for them.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
First free throw is good. And he can't hit the second.
And they've come out with a take no prisoners approach on the glass here tonight, guys.
Sessions with it. On the money from 12 feet away. Sessions has got 6. Will return shortly. Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. And what stands out to you from New York in this one?
I mean, through that first quarter, to me, it's all about their D.
There's a lot of ways to build a lead. This one's built on stops.
Celtics trail by 4. Kevin, we've all seen the evolution of the perimeter style offense. Do you think it'll ever go so far that we'll see the game come back to an inside-oriented offensive scheme?
I think right now that with pace being the way it is now, Kev, I don't see it necessarily going through or going back to playing through the post. Although you have to have an alternative. I think that you just can't be all three-pointers and layups. I think you have to have a constant flow of inside-outside. I think it helps to have a post player. I think having a post player or a true post player that can score and dominate the middle opens up threes and opens up ball movement.
You played during the transition too, didn't you? From a grinded-out type of game inside to spacing that we had.
I did, and I'd like to say that, you know, Doc Rivers started the small ball, and, you know, we were very, very keen on the small ball. So I think in today's game, you got to be able to shoot the three now and be able to handle the ball and put the ball on the floor and make decisions. So it shows that the game is transforming.
Rozier's out there with Brown. Then it's Tatum. Then it's Aaron Baines. That's the Boston Five. And Kevin, there was such a whirlwind around your trade to the Celtics from the Timberwolves. What were your thoughts and emotions at that time?
You know what? Being in Minnesota at that time, it was very difficult for me. I didn't necessarily want to leave. I had a goal to bring the city a championship, and I felt like I could do that. Nothing worse than when you have to deal with the reality of change. I'm not the one for change, even though I do know in order to process or progress better, you have to embrace some change. So with the help of my friends from Chauncey Billups, Teron Lue, I sat and I thought through it with those guys who have been through the trade process and talking to me, getting me to understand my options. And once I understood all my options, then I just, you know, it was about what was best for me and my family.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider.
Wow, he got whacked on that one. Shouldn't be much debate there.
And Kev, you had a voice in where you'd go from Minnesota. How did all that play out?
I sat with you know, my wife, and we all, you know, kind of went through it and thought Boston was the best situation. Paul and I had great bones and great history that I don't think the world really knew. We have been knowing each other since 14, 15. I played with each other younger, and I had a chance to play with Cole, but that really didn't go through. A lot of people don't know I had a chance to play with Steve Nash also, but I wanted to play with Stoudemire, and that wasn't the case. So I decided to go to Boston. Ray and I knew each other from South Carolina. And then, you know, the Rondo piece was a huge piece for me. You know, I had followed the youngster in his first year and just watched his growth a little bit, even though I was in the Western Conference. And then when I got to Boston, I knew they had good pieces like Kendrick Perkins and Tony Allen. I wasn't aware of the Big Baby piece yet. And then I wasn't sure on the Posey part. And then all of a sudden it started to come together, Eddie House. And then all of this, and
great names.
I mean,
great names.
Just all alphas, all guys able to stand up and speak for themselves and be articulate, and, you know, all different facets, and, you know, very similar facets of who we are personality-wise. And a lot of people just don't know that that team there, I don't think another coach could have coached that team other than Doc Rivers.
Yeah, way to play in attack mode and get to the line.
Kevin, we know how hard the players work, the elite players work the hardest. We know the coaches work so hard. Everyone in that coaching staff, everyone wants the game called right. Is an added referee something that would help the game in any way, do you think?
More eyes on it.
We got three right now.
Listen, that's a lot,
that
man.
Is a lot.
And we're yelling at those three. Listen, more eyes on the prize, if you will, so be it. It's just about how the game is. You want referees to be consistent. You want referees to also let the guys play a little bit. You know, that's just my preference. I'm not a league official, nor do I know flow and momentum. I'm just talking from a fan perspective and watching it.
Yes.
But, you know, as a player, you find things to complain about because that's what a player does when it comes to advantage versus disadvantage. But fourth ref, I don't think it would hurt. To me, it would be about how they were calling it.
Hayward hits them both. And KG, talk about how the greats can just impose their will.
It's almost like another level. When you see LeBron, what he did to Detroit in that fourth quarter, that's a blackout. You don't know what you're doing. When you see Cole go for 81, when you see Chauncey come down on a one, these players are blacking out. These are elite players in elite moments, taking the moment. Paul Pierce is one of the best that I've ever seen grab a moment and savor it and just put it in slow-mo. And nothing speeding them up. Special players. But I get a front row seat of seeing that. Ray Allen, the same thing. Had a great composure about himself to slow himself down and hit pressure shots. Tim Duncan, same thing.
And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Kevin, Celtics coach Brad Stevens is known for getting the best out of his players. He said every NBA player has an elite strength. Some of them have 10 of them. And those guys are the very best in the league, right? But every one of them is here for a reason. And there are times when you can really soar with that skill. Kevin?
And that's why Stevens is already one of the best coaches in the league, David. You've talked about him for a long time, getting maximum results from every one of his players. Kevin, with intentional fouling, with poor free throw shooters being sent to the line currently, the hack of Drummond, hack of Shaq, I mean, all this stuff, hack of DeAndre Jordan. Yeah. What are your thoughts on all that?
You know what? I like it. You know what it's going to do? It's
part of the strategy?
It's going to put the strategy, and this is part of it. And you know what you got to do? It's going to make all those guys you just named work on that free throw. Because if any advantage that you have in the game, coaches are going to expose it. Coaches are going to expose all weak points, as they should, as any sport, and as any great is going to expose any weaknesses in defenses. He's going to look to expose those things. So this is one of the things that dictates the game, and these guys are going to have to be better. It's going to push them. It's going to make them better players.
And the second free throw, good.
I don't think it'll ever go away with Porzingis on draft night getting booed by the home crowd. And now, nothing but love.
Smart puts the pick in for Irving. Morris a screen. Smart kicks to Irving. Ntilikina with the rebound.
Well executed, great rhythm. You've got to finish that one.
Well, it's like Thanksgiving out there, carving out space off the screen. Just couldn't complete the play.
Cantor's shot is off.
And he rushed that one, no doubt about it. The D out of position, you could see the frustration on his face.
Kevin, especially back in Minnesota, you have some Hall of Fame battles with a guy named Tim Duncan. Talk about what those games, what those matchups were like.
Timmy's very crafty, man. Our battles used to be just, especially as young guys, man. Young guys trying to establish themselves in a gritty league at the time, full of some older dominant names at the time, Michael Jordan, Elijah Malone. At a time where the forward position was a very, very tough position. But Timmy was one of them ones, man. Used angles very well, was very long, had a lot of counters, very strong, and had an inner beast that people really didn't really talk about because you didn't really necessarily hear or see it. But man, Timmy's one of the best, man. It's not by coincidence. He's one of the ones.
And the technical free throw is good. Kevin, you were a mainstay All-Star week. You've seen everything there. If it were up to you, would you make any changes in All-Star week in the events and the way everything is kind of carried out? You've went to so many.
I have. And you know what? Each city gives you a true essence of its own identity. I would like to see each city get a chance to host, regardless of if it's big enough or not. I think that each city has the ability to host. I think each city...
if you're with the family, then you should be able to host in the family, right?
Well, not only that, but just think about what All-Star is, man. It's an event. It's a family event. And each city wants to be able to show you their best thing about their city.
Now, here is Irving following the miss by Porzingis. And it goes out of bounds. That one off Hayward. And look now at the four areas where shots can come from. The paint, mid-range, and shots from deep, all broken down for New York.
And they haven't been able to exploit the three from the corner. Maybe some better ball movement would help open the floor and get that shot into their arsenal.
The Knicks leading by 6. Well, the fans out there watching this, Kev, can you talk about why it's so incredibly difficult to win an NBA title, to become a champion? Why is it such a tough process?
Well, just imagine having a goal and you're not pursuing the goal by yourself. Just say you and somebody else.
Relying on somebody else.
Relying on somebody else, okay? So let's just say you and someone are doing something, walking up the hill. Y'all getting ready to go walk up the hill. Well, the speed at which you want to walk at might be different from the other person. And what you realize about when you're trying to reach any goal is that you have to be connected. You have to be understanding of, we're going to walk up it together like at this speed, like this, or we're going fast, we're going slow. It has to be a great level of communication and understanding. At the same time, you have to have the same work ethic because you have to understand you're together. And you don't get to go at this level and leave someone behind. You have to you got to pull them, you got to keep up, whatever it is. All this goes into trying to win.
It sure does. That's right.
You have got to box out Horford on the glass, given his size and his strength. Nice persistence by him to grab the rebound.
No good from Beasley.
That's a great effort on defense. He definitely rushed his shot a little bit down low.
Hardaway with the steal. It's Beasley on the wing. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. Kevin, over the years, we've seen a number of super teams develop, and in the Warriors' case, it's not the big 3, it's the big 4. Is this a trend you see continuing? You did it in Boston.
Man, look,
you were the original big 3.
It seems like it, eh? You know, right.
You were the original big 3.
You know what? It's like an innovative type of thing, right? I didn't even know that we were doing that. Right, because LeBron come back and do what? LeBron goes to
Miami. He's the big 3 right down there. Yeah.
And then what? Then it just starts morphing into these different things, right?
KD to Golden State.
Right. Yeah. Oh, man.
What do you think of that?
I think this is pretty much the norm. You know what? Listen, I think KD took a lot of heat for it, but when you really think about what he's doing, is that, I say 20 years from now, he sits back and he wants to talk to Steph, he wants to talk to Draymond, he's talking to Clay. These are all going to be 3 greats with him. I'm just talking about those 3 guys. He's playing with 3 other greats. I'm sorry. If you had a chance to play with 3 other greats in the prime, Kev, you're going to do that. And if you don't, then something's wrong with you.
And Kevin, you look at the star players joining up today. At the end of the day, it's about winning.
The game is about winning. More importantly, it's about these bonds that you're able to establish. Those guys are going to be brothers forever. Now, I get the whole OKC, him leaving, but this is morphing into something else, and I think that this is going to be part of the norm.
Championships.
It is, man, and that's what you're in this for. You go to build these things. I don't know if I would have done it like that, but I understand it. I get it. He's playing with 3 other greats that's making the game more efficient for him, and it's working. But, yes, I see this being the norm in the league.
Celtics trail by 4. Kevin, what a lot of fans don't get to see is all the work players do behind the scenes at home, before games, after games, on off days. Can you talk a little bit about that? Getting your body ready from the end of one game to play the next game. I mean, I've seen it, but you talk about it.
Yeah, the wellness starts right after you stop playing. The minute you come off the court, you're iced. You got to do progressions where right after the game, you shower. Obviously, you got to get massages. You got to get some type of wellness on your legs, just because you're running so much. People don't know that you have to lift weights. When we was in Boston, we lift every other day. We had a strenuous strength program. Shout out to B-Do. Brian Dew, who was our strength coach up there, never let us get a day off. And if you didn't lift weights, then we find you as a players find you. Because it's important for you to come in here and be strong. We need everybody to be as strong as they can be. So you have to lift. And then actually, you practice. But after practice, you have to put time into your own personal game.
Right. So much goes into it. It's amazing. Kevin, you were so successful jumping from high school to pros. What do you think about the current situation now, the age of 19, the minimum to go to the draft?
I'm always be a fan of the younger kids being able to have the opportunity. I don't like when you put parameters. I could see if college was really teaching these kids and really giving them a solid situation to be able to have something to defer to. But, these kids are not learning at the rate that you would like them to learn in college. And plus, they're not staying in college to these great institutions to be able to apply some of the things they're learning. So I just think that they need...
They're basketball players.
They're basketball players, but they should have the opportunity to take advantage of if you're able to play at 17, 18 like I was. Not saying that every kid's going to have that, but you have obviously the D-League. You have all these multiple leagues throughout the world and where kids go to play. Some kids have missed out just because of that 1 year and some mishaps. And you sit here, you can say, for business is good for this. Listen, the business is what it's going to be. We need to develop and have these kids be professionals more than anything. We need to grow these kids from a skill level and an appetite level. Our game was built off of wanting to be better than the ones that's come before us. You know what I'm saying? Lou Alcindor came in here. He was, a.k.a. obviously Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was more encouraged to beat out Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell more than anything. And then that starts to trickle down from the effect of from Jordan wanting to be better than Larry Bird and Magic to Cole wanting to be better than, it's the same thing. It's being trickled down. And when I think of greatness, I think, it's going to follow. It's going to be shadows, and at some point it's going to mimic.
Now here's Smart. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against the 76ers in Philadelphia.
I felt like in that game, too, he was a man on a mission defensively. Finishing up with 4 steals is an impressive feat. And you can tell, takes pride in that part of the game.
And he knocks down the first one.
And just a much better job of attacking and getting to the line here in the second quarter. Didn't have a single attempt in the first.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Horford. Tatum comes in for Smart. And it's Rozier in for Irving. McDermott's checked in for New York. Sessions comes in for Tim Hardaway Jr. And he makes both free throws. Kevin, we see some coaches get extremely emotional on the sideline. Others take a more even-keeled approach, more calm on the sideline. Which coaching style would you prefer to play for when you were in your prime? Would you want a coach who was animated, or did you want a coach that was just kind of settled on the sideline?
You know what? I like the coach that was settled on the sideline. You know, I like to think that great coaches are going to be able to coach you in practice, and then during the games, you know, it's about the product and what you put out on the floor. You know, coaches that have understanding, coaches that have vision, coaches that understand the game, understand that it's a game of runs, know that it's a game of momentum, and have plays for those momentums and those times. Are coaches that I've always gravitated to and understood that they
like Doc was kind of in between, one a little bit of emotion, but that he could also have a calm demeanor on that side.
Doc was on fire. I'm sorry. There was nothing calming about Doc.
To cover Doc's back here.
No, shout to Doc. Doc will rip your head off if you wasn't supposed to. But you know what? You need to play with that edge. You needed to know that if you wasn't in your spot, 1 through 15, you understood that you were supposed to be there. And it's good to play with that. I think that you don't want to be out there playing like, this is no big deal. Every play is a big deal. And no play, absolutely. And you know what? That severity, and you play with that importance, and, knowing that you're playing for the next guy. So, that's important.
And they have built their advantage on the scoreboard here by doing all the little things.
Kevin, it's been said that some guys hated to play against you. Is there someone you hated to play against for whatever reason?
No.
You enjoyed every jump?
I enjoyed every competitor, because on the offensive side of the ball, I was always challenged when to use counters or what type of moves I was using. I took a lot of pride in having a variety of moves for different types of defenses, and each guy is going to bring out a different side of the offense in you. And then turning around and then being that defender and being able to guard the post player or the post or whatever the post player was or whatever. Rasheed Wallace was always a tough guard. Tim Duncan was always a tough guard. Zach Randolph was always a tough guard. Chris Webber, Dice, Karl Malone.
Great names.
Yeah, easy call.
Shooting 2.
That's good from Rozier.
And not the same rhythm or approach that he had in the first quarter when he was taking it straight to the teeth of the D and really creating contact. Like to see him get back to that here in this quarter.
Kyle O'Quinn, he's checked in for Porzingis. Good on both.
They've hit every one of their free throws here in the second quarter. Very important when you're trailing.
A minute 50 left in the first half of basketball. McDermott, no one around him. That ball's great assist by Ramon Sessions.
I love the pace he's playing with, letting his offense come to him naturally and then building upon this lead for his team.
But on that shot, with that, the Knicks lead is cut down to 8 on the bucket from Rozier. New York's gone 1 of 2 on three-pointers here in the second quarter so far. Here's Sessions. Here's Hernan Gomez, and a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here. With a break in the action, let's show you the teams with the most second chance points last year. In third, the Knicks.
This was a team that was really savvy when it came to getting position under the boards and then getting those offensive putbacks.
No good on the free throw.
A second-round pick who relies on instincts and a little bit of size, Hernangomez, actually a pretty good free throw shooter.
And he sinks the second. A minute 20 left here in the second. Adding a lot of flavor to the mix, Kevin Garnett. Kevin, thanks for stopping by. Always a pleasure. Hope you join us again sometime.
Man, Kevin, it's always a pleasure, man. It's always great to see you, man. Anytime you need me, you holler at me, all right?
Future Hall of Famer and a terrific person, Kevin Garnett. And Brent, it's amazing that our introduction to KG was just this high school kid from Chicago, and before that, from South Carolina. So unrefined, undefined, and now, you know, he has just so much wisdom to impart. He's learned so much. It's wonderful to listen to.
When you think about Kevin Garnett, Kevin, and the fact that he played more than half of his life in the NBA. And for a guy like that to pick up some sort of knowledge, to carry it on and to pay it forward, that's the kind of loyalty and enthusiasm that Kevin Garnett always shows for the game of basketball.
One is off.
And the Celtics gave up 4 players to get one in Kyrie Irving, but they already had so much depth, they could afford to sacrifice a bit for a superstar just entering his prime.
Well, you knew that Doug McDermott was going to be a classic shooter when he came into the league with all those points he racked up at Creighton University. A great shooting motion, a high, quick release. And I'm just impressed with the range that he's able to fire from. Sometimes 4 or 5 feet from behind the line, no problem from Dougie McBuckets.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far.
The first one falls. Both shots good from the stripe. We've got 22 seconds left to play here in the half. Here's Rozier, 13 points in the game. Tice. Again, the miss by the Celtics. So we've reached the end of the first half of play. It's the Knicks as they end the second quarter with a huge surge, an 18-7 run. Stay with us, folks. We'll get back just after halftime to start the third quarter.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Enes Kanter had no problems getting going. He ended up with 17 points and 9 rebounds. Hey, big fella, what's your take on New York so far?
The area where they impressed me the most has been on the boards. When the shot's gone up, everybody goes for it. Just a matter of maintaining that energy, playing with that same kind of aggression in the final 2 quarters.
Kenny, how'd you think the Celtics were playing?
Poor efficiency on offense. That's what jumps out at me. You aren't going to win many games shooting under 35%. Bad shot selection, too much one-on-one play, not finishing with authority. Now, these are correctable errors. They could choose to come out in the second half and completely flip that script.
And it's just about time now for the third quarter to get underway.
And as we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same. Celtics trail by 12, setting the floor for the Knicks. Kristaps Porzingis is out there with Beasley. Then there's Tim Hardaway Jr. Then it's Enes Kanter, and it's Ntilikina in at the point guard position. And the foul called on Porzingis. That's his third foul of the game.
Yeah, clearly he had an established position there.
Down low, throws it down as the official calls the foul. It may be a three-point play. That's on Enes Kanter.
And when he's aggressive, watch out. Morris finishing through the contact, now going to the line to try and add one more.
And when Marcus Morris gets a defender in a one-on-one situation, Greg, he feels the most at home.
And part of that might be from going up against his twin brother all the time when they were young. Marcus Morris has a great knack to find a shot he likes. Terrific with his mid-range. Yeah, and of course, Marcus with a twin brother, Markieff, went to college together, played in the pros together. You'll have a hard time finding a closer pair of siblings.
Porzingis kicks it out to Beasley. Here's Ntilikina. He's covered by Irving. Back to Beasley. That one doesn't drop. Hayward with some nice D. Yes, and it's Irving picking up the assist. Irving's got his fourth assist with that last one here tonight. New York leading by 7. To the inside, and it's Beasley finishing it off.
I love the fact that Ntilikina is skilled at being a ball mover. He's got a pass-first mentality, and that's winning basketball.
Great way to see the alley-oop. That replay courtesy of Under Armour. Another unleash chaos moment. Right side, Irving. In the corner, it's Hayward. That'll be Boston as it goes out of bounds. Celtics retain possession.
A moment now to see the numbers for Smart. How he did last season. Last year, averaged 10 points per game, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds. And he's really been pulling his weight. He's had a hand in some big plays here recently.
I think you look across the board right now, and he's just doing a much better job. The numbers bear that out.
That one goes. Count it. Smart's got his second bucket tonight.
That makes 3 in a row to start the second half.
First minute and a half of basketball here in the third quarter. There's a screen by Kanter. To the paint. Basket is good, and he'll get a chance for one more at the free throw line.
A little shiftiness there in Porzingis' game as he welcomed the contact and then converted on top of it.
Whenever you get a chance to see Porzingis play, Brent, you get a sense of excitement.
He's definitely one of the players in the league that I like to watch, and mostly because I'm interested in the progression of Kristaps Porzingis. When he first came in, it was all about those follow-up highlight dunks on the offensive end where he's throwing things down as putbacks. But now it's about refining his game and becoming more consistent night in and night out. The defense was solid there, smothering him close inside, and that's how you want to guard him.
On the wing, Hardaway. Kanter sets the pick for Hardaway. Passes it to Kanter. Good, and the assist goes to Hardaway. And it's an 11-point New York lead.
With a number of go-to moves and a soft touch, Kanter can crush you inside.
Irving drives in. Count it. Good. Irving's got 7 points.
If you're going in amongst the trees, you have got to be aggressive.
Well, he's also crafty with how he approaches it. Right there, he uses just the right move to lay it in.
Kanter with a screen on Irving. There's a screen by Kanter. Here's Ntilikina. And again, it's New York.
The size and strength advantage of Enes Kanter quite evident on that screen.
So the Celtics called timeout. They're first. Their first look at this year's New York squad.
And they didn't have much of a problem with these guys last season, and quite frankly, you wouldn't expect them to.
Well, we're into the third quarter, just over 2.5 minutes played. Irving dishes to Hayward. Pass to Horford. The pass to Smart. 6 on the shot clock. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up. And at 6'4", 220, Marcus Smart with terrific strength for a combo guard, Greg.
I mean, he can just flat out bully most guards and even hold his own against the bigs. Beyond, though, that physical stature, it's his mentality that makes him special. He's a fire breather, just the type of player the Celtics look for.
And that one falls for Smart. That's also good. So he hits both free throws. Brett, what about moving without the ball? Who are some of the guys that, beyond just doing it, do it with great effectiveness?
The first guy that comes to mind is J.J. Redick. Old school, in the vein of Reggie Miller, running off of multiple screens with those scattered short steps to get himself on balance, square himself up, and knock shots down. J.J. Redick, Ray Allen, Kyle Korver. Great players who really, in the dying art of scoring off to the screen, have tremendous fundamentals.
Rip Hamilton, too, would always run around and take advantage of those screens, and I can see him running in my mind's eye right now.
Great call, Kevin. I often read the back of Rip Hamilton's jersey because I could not catch up with the guy.
And Hardaway gets it to go.
Really crisp, intelligent passing to make that basket possible.
Irving passes to Morris. Back to Irving. Morris a screen. Irving kicks to Horford. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
And Al Horford just so versatile. You know, that extends to the defensive end as well. Very mobile, can move his feet with smaller players, and at the same time gives you a presence on the interior.
Free throw dropped for Al Horford. And Horford won't wow you with his athleticism. But Greg, he's still a pretty good shot blocker.
He has great timing, anticipation, and awareness. Don't forget also he's got terrific hands, and you see that with all the steals he racks up.
So Horford gets 2.
Wow, they've made every free throw here in the second half.
They set the pick. Kicks to Hardaway. Buries the long-range jumper. Hardaway has got 5 points now in the quarter.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Irving kicks to Morris. Now the dish to Horford. The Celtics working the ball around now. Now here is Irving. He's tightly guarded. Shoots over Cantor. And yep, finally drops after rolling around the rim. Horford's got 11 points.
Horford showing some real confidence there. As soon as he gets the ball, he releases it. You could tell right away that one was good.
And Hardaway gets it to go.
And until someone stops him, he's just going to continue to keep firing from distance.
Yeah, we got to be a DEFCON 1 here, because at this point, he is so dialed in, you got to get him off his spots.
But on that shot, with that, the Knicks lead is cut down to just 8 points on the bucket from Smart.
And after an abysmal first half from the field, the shots now starting to fall.
Cantor with a screen on Irving. Dishes it to Hardaway. And Boston with the rebound. Horford's got 9 rebounds in the game, getting it done. Now here's Smart, guarded closely. Down low, it's deflected. And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by Cantor.
Yeah, tremendous hustle just to get a hand on that one.
Anticipation, reads the play all the way. So close to a steal.
Kyle O'Quinn, he's checked in for the Knicks. Nice job coming off that screen. 13 points for Horford.
And they're showing much more focus here in the second half. More effort as well. And their offense starting to show signs of life.
Over to the left wing. Beasley with the screen on Hayward. Here's Porzingis. And no good. Good work defensively by Morris. Beasley against Hayward. Here's Morris. Nice D from Porzingis. The Knicks leading by 6. Here's Ntilikina. Left side Hardaway. Beasley the screen. Here's Porzingis. And it's sent back by Horford.
Not in here. Just can't throw stuff up like that around Horford. He sends that one right back. This is a terrible start for him, and it has to be weighing on him.
Irving attacking. The basket good off the assist from Hayward. Now just a 4-point Knicks lead.
When the guy is capable of so many things like that on the offensive end, anytime you lose sight of him, he's got a huge advantage.
Here's Ntilikina. Feeds it to O'Quinn. To stop the drought. Tries again. Ntilikina gets the bucket.
And you can see he's been working on that post game. Ntilikina showing some skill set down on that low block, using that length to his advantage.
Now a timeout called by Boston.
And Frank Ntilikina out of France, played pro ball in Germany, and a lot of fans in the U.S. might not be as familiar with him, but for NBA execs and scouts, that's their job. Ntilikina has a game worthy of their attention.
So Boston ends up going with a new group, and a new group in for the Knicks. Hernan Gomez is checked in for Porzingis. McDermott comes in for Michael Beasley. Courtney Lee, he's checked in for Tim Hardaway Jr. And Sessions subbed in for Ntilikina. In a draft stacked with point guards, Ntilikina's court vision, Greg, might be the best of them all.
I mean, he's a true pure point guard. At the same time, a good shooter. The length to defend wings, so that versatility makes him one of the more valuable prospects.
Ooh, that's as forceful a finish as you're ever going to see out of this guy.
Well, gee, it adds now to their lead in spectacular fashion.
And to me, this is why they're winning, guys. Unlikely players stepping up huge against a defense that's really nowhere to be found. The defense looked lost there. Get out your compass. No excuses. You got to guard the perimeter.
O'Quinn, and O'Quinn slams it in.
I love to see the big man drive to the inside, and O'Quinn goes right to the bucket.
Tatum kicks to Brown. And sticking right with it, gets the foul with the bucket, and he'll go to the line.
Yeah, he earned that one. I mean, taking the hit and still able to get that one to go down.
He shot 2 free throws in the game, made 1 and missed 1.
You know, this is not an area where they expect him to contribute. You know, he's a guy that shot below 70% last season.
That free throw good from Brown. And one issue that has come up for the Knicks in their quest for success, Brent, is their lack of continuity.
Maybe one problem, Kevin, is that the New York Knicks organization feels just a bit too cliquey between ownership and then management and the coaching staff, and that there just hasn't been the kind of connectivity that you need in order to make things grow organically. It's been very forced in New York City, and until they find that right combination, the struggles can continue.
And a fast break now for New York. Moving it up, and it's blocked by Brown, and they get it back. And a wide open look for Lee. Lee with another miss. Celtics trail by 4. Ramon Sessions with the steal. He kicks it to McDermott. Back to Sessions. 6 to shoot. Goes up from the top of the key. And the shot no good, a bit short. Boston's gone to the three-pointer 11 times tonight and nailed 5 of them. Offensive rebound, Tice, and the layup's good off the glass. 9 points in the game so far.
And this is what happens when you fail to block out.
Defensive rebounding just as important as causing the miss in the first place.
Scooped up. Here's Hernan Gomez. Baines with the block. Now here's Tatum. Defense is right there.
Trying to shoot his way out of this slump, but thus far, not working.
Yeah, I hope it hasn't gone to his head. He may be trying too hard at this point.
And after really leaning on that three-point shot in the first half, seeming like they're just getting away from it here in the second. More of the shots coming from the interior.
Doesn't go for him. Now the Knicks take it the other way. They've held a 12-point lead earlier. Here's Lee. It's stolen by Brown. Here's Tatum. It's rebounded by New York. O'Quinn's got his 6th rebound on the night. High post try. Lee with another miss. Celtics trail by 4. Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Basket counts. Rozier's got 15 points.
And that is one thing he does very well. His intensity on the glass helps lead to these high percentage putbacks for his team.
McDermott for 3, and Baines pulls it down. Baines has got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one.
Well, not really his best quarter as far as scoring. Let's see if he can eventually get back on track.
Hits it from 3-point range.
And that's just tremendous confidence from Brown. Going up with the shot right away and giving the D no time to react.
Brown. Here's Rozier. He's got 15. Tatum's shot is off. There's 38 seconds left here in the third quarter. Lee. He hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points. And the Knicks lead by 1.
Just in a perfect position to grab that rebound and then get the putback.
There's the pick. Brown against Lee. And Lee pulls it down. Lee's got his 3rd rebound tonight. In the corner, it's McDermott. Misses the 3.
Well, he made 1 3 in the first half, but he hasn't found a way to connect again from outside during the second.
Puts up a 3. Got it off in time, but it's no good. And we just finished the third quarter, and we've got a tight ball game here. It's the Knicks up 1. And we're coming right back after this break to get the fourth quarter underway. Now let's listen into the huddle of Brad Stevens.
Hey, defense at the start of the quarter and the end of the quarter has been really good. Okay, it's been really good. Offensively, let's just keep moving that thing.
As calm as he can be, Brad Stevens did have one specific message. Don't hold the basketball, guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing that will kill your offense. If you don't have a good look, move the ball. Maybe someone else does.
All right, we welcome you back to what's been a hard-fought battle. Fourth quarter should be good. We've got Rozier. He's out there with Brown. Tatum out there with Aaron Baines. That's the Boston 5. The Celtics making a switch here. Morris is checked in. Enes Kanter's checked in for the Knicks. Boston's gone past the three-point line for 13 of their shots. They're 6 of 13. Here's Tatum, and he drops in the layup off the glass. Tatum's got the lead up to 1 now for Boston.
And Tatum already showing some efficiency from beyond. Fantastic at getting the position he wants for the shot.
Back to McDermott. Some nice passing by New York here. They set the screen. Hernan Gomez. And the basket is good. And the Knicks lead by 1.
This is where Willie does his best work. As I say, Kevin, he's really good inside.
That's right, Brent. Morris a screen. Rozier the pass to Morris. Hits the three-point bomb.
And they shot just over 30% in that first half. Not what they were looking for, obviously, but they're getting much better looks here since halftime and have brought that percentage up.
Here's Ntilikina. A strong finish under heavy pressure all over.
Yeah, Ntilikina there attacking the rim. An explosive long guard who can get to the rack with the best of them.
Just about 1.5 minutes gone by here in the fourth. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here. It's going to be on Doug McDermott. Watching Jason Tatum, it's hard to find many faults in his game, Greg. He's strong inside and out and plays both ends of the floor equally well.
Yeah, kind of a jack of all trades, right, and master of none. He does everything reasonably well on the basketball floor, just doesn't do anything great. Having said that, though, Tatum is one of those guys that I think improves the overall IQ of your team, and terrific size at his position.
The first free throw is good.
Yeah, Tatum plays with a lot of confidence. He feels like he can take on anyone, and already proving to be a great leader at his age.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Al Horford's checked in for Aaron Baines. Smart comes in for Jaylen Brown. And Kyrie Irving subbed in for Rozier. So he makes 1 of 2 as the second one misses.
You know, so many people were surprised at the Kyrie Irving trade, but throughout the decades, Boston's been unafraid to pull the trigger. I mean, they moved up to number 2 to draft the great Bill Russell, moving back to number 3 to draft McHale, add Parrish, assembling the big 3 for a championship, then dismantling that big 3 for all those unprotected picks. This is an organization that stops at nothing to try and win titles.
A nice shot by Irving.
Yeah, how about the percentage they're shooting from beyond the arc here in the second half?
Outside Hardaway. Screen by Porzingis. Porzingis with a screen on Irving. Here's Ntilikina. A rebound by the Celtics.
You know, thinking about Kyrie's legacy here in Boston, this is a town that cares only about championships. That's how his contribution is going to be measured. And only time will tell if he can walk in the shoes of the greatest players to ever put on a Celtics uniform.
Well, the defense does not appear to be playing together out there right now. Lots of bad reach-ins and not enough getting in front of the man to stop the penetration.
Whoa, that'll wake you up.
He is such a great athlete. Now here's Smart. Oh, and they get in the way of the alley-oop. Not to be. Good play defensively. Here's Ntilikina. He's covered by Irving. Irving against Porzingis. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. It's going to be on Kyrie Irving.
Pretty clear that for the New York Knicks, the next best big thing in the city is Kristaps Porzingis. This franchise knows that he's the future and also the present, so he'll be the star that they build around in years to come.
Shooting 2.
That free throw good from Porzingis. And for KP taking over as the best player on his team, Brent, he's probably earned it. Fantastic play from him, and he has far surpassed expectations.
Well, I think he showed some great signs last year. In his first year, his rookie campaign, he really struggled coming down the stretch. And I think whatever he did in the offseason to prepare himself for his sophomore year got him through the season much more consistently. And how lucky were the Knicks to get this guy, and we'll see if he ends up becoming the cornerstone of what they do in the future.
17-foot shot on the way. That one a little long.
I like the defensive effort. They did a good job altering the mid-range shot and then making the shooter feel a bit uneasy.
Here's Beasley. That drops, and it comes off the assist from Hardaway. Hardaway has got 3 assists in the game. And here is Irving. And there's the feed to Smart. Pass to Horford. Back to Smart. And he banks in the layup. And the Celtics lead by 2.
And offensively, they finally seem to be coming around after an ugly first half.
Outside, Porzingis. Here's Ntilikina. He's covered by Irving. Shoots from 12. They get the rebound.
The defense, not so good. And when you're deep inside like that, you got to come through.
And there's Morris. That's good on the assist by Irving. And now a 4-point Celtic lead.
And they're passing the ball very crisply here.
Here's Ntilikina. He's covered by Irving. Here's the screen. To the wing right side. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Ntilikina. And it's off the back rim. No good.
And a tough game for the guys around him, mainly because his shot's been hit and miss.
Hayward can't hit. Knicks trail by 4. Here's Ntilikina. Porzingis with a screen on Irving. Passes to Porzingis. Over Horford. New York, no good that time either. The Celtics have gone 6 of 8 from the field in the fourth so far. It's been a great start to this final quarter for them. Morris kicks to Hayward. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. It's on Porzingis.
Putting defenders in tough spots is a trait of Hayward's game. I mean, he gets his man on the back foot and forces him to either foul or give up the easy one.
And the first one drops.
And there had been a will he or won't he feeling with Gordon Hayward's free agency. Tough choice, I got to believe, for him to leave Utah, but you can see why he wanted to join forces here with the Celtics.
Hayward hits them both. And Boston was the heavy favorite to sign Gordon Hayward, and ultimately the opportunity was just too hard to pass up.
And he's reunited with his college coach, Brad Stevens. This team has a great path to make a deep playoff run, and this just adds another star to a very balanced roster.
Celtics leading by 4. Now Irving, picked by Horford. Tries a 3. Yes, and it's Irving picking up the assist. Irving's got 9 assists in the game. Great passing. Knicks trail by 7. Guys, they're looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively for sure.
These are the kind of nights you expect to see more and more. Porzingis just taking over.
Irving dishes to Morris. For 3, Hayward. Beasley with the rebound. The Knicks shooting it well here in the fourth quarter, 50%. Down low, Cantor. And it's good. That bucket takes him to 9 for 14.
Owning a diverse offensive skill set, a variety of moves both inside and out. Cantor right now on fire.
Hayward goes in. It's good. And the Celtics lead by 5.
And offensively, they seem to have turned a corner.
The Knicks have gone 7 of 13 from the field here in the fourth. Beasley against Hayward. There's the screen. There's a screen by Cantor. Here's Porzingis. And good, as it just snugs right down through the net. Oh, wow, guys, doesn't look good. We've got an injury here.
And boy, when you see someone hurting like this, it's always scary.
Yeah, it reminds you of what's really important. Health, number 1. Everything else comes after that.
Kyle O'Quinn, he's checked in for Porzingis. Left side, Irving. Horford sets a screen for Irving. Ntilikina with the rebound.
The defense was in the area, but not really effective. He has to put away this layup.
Beasley the screen. Off the pick. Ntilikina can't hit.
And, you know, not sure if it's him or the defense, but just something's off tonight.
Something in this frame for sure, but when you're out of rhythm, sometimes it's better to play the role of being the facilitator.
Here's Irving. The basket good off the assist from Hayward. Irving's got 11 in the second half.
You love to see the resolve from an offensive player after a disappointing first half. He's been terrific here in the second.
Pass to Ntilikina. New York moving it around. Here's Cantor. And good. Got the friendly bounce off the right side of the rim. Cantor's got 4 points now in the quarter.
Efficiency has been the hallmark right now down the stretch. He is making the most of his opportunity.
Now the pass to Horford. Here's Smart. Good D by Hardaway. Knicks trail by 3. Pass to Ntilikina. Up top, O'Quinn. And good. Got the English that time as it falls.
Yeah, there's other guys on the roster, but Kyle O'Quinn's out there and can get the job done.
Outside Irving. Beasley against Hayward. And finished off by Horford.
And that's why Horford makes the big bucks. But don't they all? He knows how to deliver a huge shot in the clutch.
Horford's gone 6 of 10 shooting tonight from the field. Kicks to O'Quinn. He dishes it to Cantor. Outside Hardaway. Can't tie it up as that one misses. Celtics leading by 3. Tries from 10, and Hayward gets it to go on the assist by Irving. Irving's got assist number 10 tonight with that last one. New York calls timeout.
Well, they've been turning that ball over way too much, and they really need to address this if they want to win this game. Huddle up, boys.
And now let's present our Jordan Player of the Game, Al Horford.
And he's had the hot hand tonight, Kevin, no doubt about it. He's gotten his field goal percentage up over 60, and you're only going to get it that high when you're taking good, smart shots.
Hernan Gomez is checked in for New York. Okay, well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
Hey, Kevin. Well, here's the summary of what Jeff Hornacek went over with his guys during the break. He told them it's time for you to fight to get this lead. Let's bring this one home. Guys, we'll see if they have what it takes to get it done. Back to you.
Thanks, David. Okay, time now for an injury report. Let's check in with David Aldridge for an injury update on Porzingis. David.
Thanks, Kevin. I just talked with the Knicks head athletic trainer. They checked out his foot, and it appears he may have sprained his toe on that play. That is a bitter pill for them to swallow so early in the season. It clearly changes the look of this team going forward, Kevin.
Appreciate that, D.A. Well, it's never easy for a player to go through what he's experiencing, Greg, right now.
But it is something that happens to almost every player. He's strong enough mentally to get through it. This we know.
Yeah, sometimes off the court, you work harder than you do preparing for a regular game. He'll get himself ready to go. Look forward to when he gets back on the court.
So the first one drops, and that gives them a 4-point cushion. And he is unable to get the second one. Knicks trail by 4. Here's Beasley. It's tipped Hardaway. And he could not get that one to go. Out of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. That one on Smart.
Gentlemen, hoop shot. Hoop shot.
He drops the first one, and that narrows the lead down to just 3. Hardaway hits them both.
And now you're in a great position thanks to those clutch free throws. One possession game now.
Smart passes to Irving. Good for basket number 7 tonight on a not so unlucky 13 shots.
And you got to admire Irving in these situations. Doesn't let pressure overwhelm him. In fact, he embraces it.
Hardaway kicks to Hernan Gomez. Beasley the screen. It's Beasley on the wing. And he uses the glass on the layup.
Interior D lacking, and it couldn't be at a worse time giving up that easy one.
Just an incredibly slow rotation. That is someone's responsibility and something they're going to need to discuss.
Here's Irving. Sinks it.
Well, that is NBA level right there.
No doubt, professional move all the way, puts the team on his back when it matters most.
Hardaway kicks to Beasley. From 15 feet away and out of bounds as the Celtics gain possession.
Some turnovers necessary, that one not so much.
There's 37 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Here's Smart. In it goes for the 5th time, and 10 shots for him this game.
And whatever it was at halftime worked because their offense far more effective here in the second. They finally found some sets that are working for them.
Here's Hardaway. Connects. And now they trail by just 4. And now we've got the intentional foul.
Yeah, you can't let them hold the ball and just milk those last seconds away.
Two shots. Relax on the first.
First free throw is good, and that puts them up by 5. So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's a 6-point ball game.
And those attempts right now at the charity stripe are helping them pull away.
Time call here. The Knicks decide to talk it over. They trail by 6. There's 21 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, what's your take?
And they still got a little time to play with, so a 3 and a quick foul would make things interesting.
Definitely. Everything has to happen perfectly just to give them a chance.
Beasley for 3. And Boston with the rebound, and that's an intentional foul. He hits the first one, and that makes it a 7-point lead. And so he drops them both. It's an 8-point game. 17 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And O'Quinn kicks to Sessions. Lee outside. The dish to McDermott. No one near Sessions as he lets it fly. Cans the three. And so it's the Boston Celtics with the W. It was up for grabs right until the final seconds.
Yeah, and for me, Kevin, what stood out is just the overall trust this group has in one another when it matters most. Doing what had to be done and to send these fans home happy.
And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks very much. Kyrie, what do you take from winning a game when you don't play your best as a team?
I mean, the only thing that matters is that we got the W. You know, obviously there's things to learn, things we got to correct that we'll watch the film tomorrow morning. We came here to handle business. It may not have been a perfect game, but we got it done.
Got on the grind and got the win. Thanks, Kyrie. Back to you, Kevin.
David, thank you as always. And that'll wrap it up, folks. For Brett Berry, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan along with our 2K Sports crew. So long.